What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another NBA High Five video with your boy. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Drop a like down below, comment anything in the comment section, and enter your name into the $50 giveaway I do every single week on this channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys for joining me as always. The winner of last week's giveaway for the NBA videos, thank you for commenting, thank you for liking, all that good stuff, is Matt Gibson. Matt Gibson, hit me up on Twitter at cam_ATL so I can get your information and send it over to you. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate everybody for watching. I'm excited for this week, baby. Let's streak this week. Let's get straight to it. I'm not going to keep up too much of your time. We're going to go through this slate, break down pretty much what we like so far early on in the day. As we know, NBA is one of those sports where it is the hardest to predict early on. You can kind of just go off what you know early, but as the day goes on, a lot of things happen that can shift an entire slate a different way. So this video is really to just get you guys started on the day. If you're going to have consistent success in DFS, you have to really be studying this shit a lot. NBA is one of the sports where you really need to stay on top of it, really need to do your research, and or you're going to lose majority of the time. GreenlightDFS.com to join the squad. Let's get it, baby. All right, so getting into this high five. So here's the deal. Starting off at shooting guard, let's talk about a shooting guard that I really like here, and that's going to be Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey's going against Toronto. There's a couple Toronto guys I like with Van Vliet out and Siakam out, so we're going to talk about them in a minute. But Jaden Ivey gives you that run back at 6'2". His usage, his fantasy points per minute have all been really, really solid. Okay, so not only has he been really solid lately, but he's getting the bump with no Cade Cunningham. He's got the plus matchup against Toronto. Toronto, where they're a solid defense overall, they've struggled against shooting guards. That's exactly where Jaden Ivey is. So I'm expecting Ivey to have a solid game here. Ivey or Bogdanovich, you can go either way. Honestly, Bogdanovich will give you a savings. So let's say and with roster construction, so it just kind of depends what you want to do. But Bogdanovich and Ivy both get bumps here. I'm siding with Ivy because his individual matchup is better against shooting guard here. So I definitely love some Ivy. Next guy on the other side, Gary Trent Jr. He let us down last time. All right, Gary Trent let us down last time. I played Gary Trent in this last game, expecting some crazy usage and expecting low ownership. I got just that. That's exactly what ended up happening, and that's what research will benefit you on. But he ended up going 1 of 12. Okay, now you can't predict a guy just having an off shooting night. That is what it is, and you got to just chalk those up as like it is what it is. But at the end of the day, when you look at his performance, he had over a 30% usage rate. It's exactly what I expected. He just had an off shooting night. I'm going right back to the well here against a bad Detroit defense against guards. I think Gary Trent pops back for 35 plus. Love him at 5'6". I'm going right back to the well. In DFS, you got to have a short memory, baby. And I love that price at 5'6". And his usage was exactly what I expected last game. And he went 1 of 12. Okay, so he's not going to do that again, most likely. You got to take these guys in good positions. All right, last season, you go off a large sample size, the entire season last season, because this Toronto team wasn't different. You take Van Vliet off, you take Siakam off. Gary Trent saw like a 33% usage rate, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. He absolutely dominated in that position, and I'm expecting him to get right back to it. That was his first game dealing with it this last game, and he went 1 of 12. But still, that usage rate is what you want to look at. The opportunity is what you want to look at. And he had that over 30%. Man, I was Jedi on that pick. Regardless of what happened, Gary Trent was low owned and he went for over 30% usage rate and just happened to have an off day shooting like 1 of 12. So I'll take that L when it happens. At the end of the day, though, if he goes for 40, it's huge night. And that's what you really are focused on. So nobody's going to play Gary Trent probably. And he just feels real slick to me at 5'6". So I'm going some Gary Trent. Another another Toronto value that we have on this slate is going to be Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young, if he starts, I definitely want him with Siakam out. I love Thaddeus Young. He's in a solid position here. Once again, solid matchup. At only 3.9 if he's starting, his usage, his fantasy points per minute are like at 1.1, 1.2. If he's going to get 30 minutes or so, he's right around 30 every time. And at 3.9, he's still too cheap. So I love Thaddeus Young as a value early on in the day right now. And he's definitely somebody I need to put in the high five. All right, next up, somebody that sticks out to me. You still got Mo Wagner out for Orlando. You might have Banchero out again, especially Now, I want to make this clear. If Banchero plays, this is definitely somewhere you can play with, okay? But if Banchero misses again, Wendell Carter's averaging 1.3 fantasy points per minute. He has the best matchup you can ask for centers. He is going to play like 30 plus minutes easily. He has huge potential. I'm talking 50-point type of upside here against Charlotte if Banchero misses. So pay attention to that. I love Wendell Carter today, especially if Banchero misses. The matchup's fantastic. The production's there. I really love him, especially once again if Banchero misses. All right. Last but not least, I'm going to rock with my boy Giannis. You've got Drew Holiday still out. You've got Middleton still not playing for Milwaukee. They just need somebody, and Atlanta's weak point on their defense has been power forwards. So Giannis should absolutely be able to do whatever he wants. He is expensive at 12.4, but the dude's production has been absolutely ridiculous. I mean, come on. His numbers this year are on a whole nother level from everyone else. It's not even fair. He's just in the great matchup here. It's a close spread. He's still missing Drew Holiday, so the numbers are ridiculous. I'm pulling up right now. I'm pulling up Giannis's numbers with Drew Holiday off the floor this year. All right, so with Drew Holiday off the floor this year, Giannis is averaging. Pulling it up right now. 1.9 fantasy points per minute, almost 2 fantasy points per minute in a 38% usage rate. That is ridiculous. If you have him right around 2 fantasy points per minute, even if he only plays 30 minutes, that's 60 plus. And at 12.4, I mean, if he's going to do that, he's damn near still hitting value. So I really love Giannis. I'm going to try my hardest. As the day goes on, as we know, majority of the time, 90% of the time, more value will pop up as the day goes on. I understand that there's, Golden State possible value with Klay Thompson out. I've done some research on that situation already. Nobody really sticks out to me as like, oh yeah, I got to do that. But I'll be paying attention to that. Steph Curry obviously will get a bump with Clay out. You've got multiple people on Golden State that'll get a slight bump, but they haven't gotten much of a bump, and it hasn't really improved them a ton. But you can consider some Golden State value. But yeah, that's about it. We got Jaden Ivey for Detroit. Still no Cade Cunningham. He's a shooting guard. Toronto's been struggling against shooting guards this season. Gary Trent on the other side, I'm going right back to the well. He failed for me last game, but this is just to show you guys in DFS, you go right back to it if the numbers are telling you you should. Gary Trent, 30% usage in that last game. We were all over him as the best play at that price point. And once again, he's still only 5'6", 30% something usage. Last year, averaged 1.3 fantasy points per minute. He was absolutely elite. Averaged like 40 plus DraftKings points in this situation with Siakam and VanVleet off in the huge sample size that we have last season. This year's just a small sample size, so I'm not taking too much merit in that right now. The 1 of 12 shooting performance won't happen much, especially against a bad defense like Detroit. So expect Gary Trent to bounce back in this one. Thaddeus Young as a value if he starts. Wendell Carter if Banchero is out. Definitely if Banchero is out. At 7.5 going against Charlotte, best matchup you can ask for centers. And then Giannis is just, to me, I'm going to be trying my hardest to get Giannis as a spend up today. It just depends on what the slate gives you. If the slate gives us more value, it's going to be even more obvious to get Giannis in. If we're struggling to have value and none of the value feels good, maybe you balance off Giannis. But in the core, I'm feeling like we should be able to do it, especially if Thad is starting at 3.9. We should be able to make lineups work with Giannis. So I'm going to put him in the high five and just definitely recommend that you play him if the slate allows for it later. All right. As always, this is a first look lineup, y'all. This is first early look at the slate. As the day goes on, I'll still be studying this stuff. So by lock time, greenlightdfs.com, we will have the most optimal posted on the site. The NBA optimizer, take advantage. The player prop tool, all that good stuff. So take advantage of all the stuff you get at Greenlight. I'll be posting the prize picks as well here soon. Thank you guys for joining me as always. I'm out. Peace.